Hi, everybody. AI was in the news everywhere this month, with major product announcements from every major company in the space. The spring of 2023 marks a milestone in enhancing not only consumer access to AI, but also in bringing new tools and ecosystems to developers for creating AI products and services. What does this mean for the future of AI? Recently, Lex Fridman had a podcast episode with Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, where they discussed GPT-4, ChatGPT, and the future of AI. I listened to the podcast and I have some thoughts on their conversation. Lex starts the podcast with an intro describing OpenAI as responsible for some of the greatest breakthroughs in humanity. That's quite a statement. There's a lot of hype about AI. Is it valid? I've been working with internet technologies for 30 plus years. Over the last few years, I do have the sense that we have entered a new paradigm for computing, similar to the early days of the internet and the release of the iPhone that launched mobile computing. Let's be honest. For most of us, the smartphone has changed how we live our lives. AI is coming to have the same impact. They talked about AGI, artificial general intelligence, and societal transformation. They discussed what is meant by AGI and consciousness. That's a hard term to define, consciousness. I believe that we will obtain AGI this century, but not this decade. But preparing for that eventual future should be a critical factor in how our educational institutions plan to prepare for the future. Think about it. Think about the kids in elementary school today and how long they will live. I mean, they'll see the end of the century. Some of them will see the next century. So personally, at this point, I'm not focused on AGI since I feel that it's a long-term phenomenon, but I am focused on the evolution and implementation, and specifically the productization of AI over the next 10 years. Conversations about power. There's a bigger conversation about power that needs to go beyond gender, identity, and class. That conversation about power needs to be about AI and those who control it, those who understand it, those who are positioned to elevate themselves, for better or worse, into privileged positions. How does society ensure broad representation among that group of AI technologists and evangelists who are starting this future for society? Most of us are amazed by the capabilities of GPT-4, the latest large language model offered by OpenAI. Sam Altman adds the perspective that in the not far future, we will view GPT-4 as primitive, slow, and buggy. He's right. Think about how we now view computers from decades ago. Even in my working career, I remember envy in the early 1990s about a colleague having an 80 megabyte hard drive. Sam Altman wonders, will the history books write about GPT-4 or GPT-7? And he says, that's for them to decide. I don't really know. But wait, who will write the history books in the future? Historians or GPT? How will history be written? Of course, historians know that history is about interpretation. History is selective. A lot of history has been erased or suppressed. ChatGPT is a pivotal moment because of its very simple interface and that it seems conversational. The interface aligns with what people want computers to do. Many people tell me that they really enjoy using ChatGPT. I certainly do. The dialogue format of ChatGPT is an essential part of the success of ChatGPT. Inevitably, we will see more avatar like interfaces to ChatGPT, avatars in the forms of humans or animals or imaginary creatures. On the podcast, Lex and Sam talk about how much work goes into building a data set for ChatGPT. Building data sets for AI is data engineering, and Lex describes that as a new branch of science, the science of human guidance to make AI more usable. The data behind GPT-4 is not simply scraped from the internet. Sam says a lot of our work is building a great data set. There's a lot of content in the world, more than most people think. Lex points out that GPT is compressing all human knowledge into a black box. Sam corrects him by saying all the text output. Sam defends OpenAI's release of GPT-4 as building in public, so that people have earlier access to this technology as an iterative process so that the public can shape the technology with them. I mean, that guy is a good spokesman for his company. Remember, whenever you listen to Sam Altman, you have to remember that he is a CEO with a bias who is selling a product. Overall, I found this podcast to be very insightful and thought provoking. It raises a lot of questions about the future of AI and its impact on society. I'll leave you with a few questions for consideration. How can AI be made more usable? What are the safety considerations for GPT and large language models? What are the implications of anthropomorphic AI? And what are career opportunities that are going to be created by AI? Not the career opportunities, not the careers and jobs that are going to be eliminated by AI, but what are the new jobs that are coming along? I love long form podcasts that are 2 to 3 hours. These long form episodes where you get to sit in on a conversation. If you have favorite podcasts like that, leave some suggestions in the comments. Have a great day.